What is going on, everybody? My name is Nathan Payne, and today we're going to be going over how to overcome the fear of cold calling and start closing deals right now. Because I know it can be scary, guys. And if you have this feeling, even if you don't want to admit it, if you're like, hey, I'm not scared, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for not wanting to admit it. But guys, I will admit it. I'll be the first one to admit I was scared when I first started cold calling. I didn't know what the heck to say. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. So if you find yourself in the same situation, this presentation, this lesson I'm going to be teaching to you guys today is going to help you overcome that fear, and it's going to help you crush it. Mainly because I'm going to be giving you the tools and the resources and the way to be able to conquer this fear. If you feel the fear, and if you don't feel the fear, but maybe you don't even want to call sellers, this presentation is for you too. And guys, you're going to learn the way to do this through getting my scripts. I'm going to be giving you my scripts for free. If you stay till the end, I'm going to be giving you the way to role play efficiently so you can do this effectively and you can overcome not wanting to call sellers. Okay. So you can be prepared and to confidently call sellers. You're going to get everything that I got. I'm going to hook it up. Why? Because I don't hold anything back. I want to give you guys everything I got. And you got to stay until the end for the bonuses. So stay tuned. You're going to get all the bonuses. Like I said, script, you're going to get the role-playing style, how to role play, and how to be confident. Guys, if you're watching this live, please do me a favor and say, hey, Nate, what's up, man? I'm watching from this state or from this area. I like to connect with you guys. I am doing this live. So without further ado, let's dive right in, guys. Let's dive into this training so you guys can overcome being scared from calling sellers. Okay, who the heck am I? I told you my name's Nathan Payne, but if you guys don't know who Nathan Payne is or what I like to go by, I'm this year, 2025 going forward, I'm going to be known as Professor Payne. Why? Because I'm going to teach you guys everything you need to know about real estate. I'm going to be the one-stop shop. My goal is to make wholesaling simple. That is what you're going to get from me. You don't need to go to anyone else. You don't need to pay anybody else. Or you don't even need to pay me. I'm going to give you everything you need. Let's freaking go. I've done over $1 million plus in wholesale fees. These are deals that I've done, $30,000, $4,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars, all this stuff. These are just all deals that I've done. Why? Just to show you guys that I know what I'm talking about. I wasn't able to put all the screenshots of my checks and everything, but I've done it. This is legit. I still do deals. That's why listening to me, I know what I'm doing. Okay. Now, I got my business degree from BYU, Idaho. If you guys don't know that is Brigham Young University, Idaho, it's a sister school of that in Utah, but it's in Idaho. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And I didn't get my degree in teaching because it did not. Being a teacher is something I always wanted to do, but didn't align with my financial goals. So I got in business, and but really, what I really enjoy doing, everybody, I love teaching. Okay. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love being able to see people, maybe when they don't understand something quite all the way through, and then me being able to show them, like help them understand it. It makes me happy. Okay. I really love it. It's my passion. Okay. I grew up wanting to be a teacher, like I said, but didn't meet my financial goals. So I went into real estate, and then from real estate, now that I know how to do it, I love teaching it. I've been able to combine both my passions. And again, my goal is to make wholesaling simple by making all the hard things or the confusing things for people when they get into this business. We're going to make it easy to understand. Okay. And the best part about it, as I teach, people make money, right? Or they see success. And these aren't just people I've worked with as in clients. These are people I've just helped and gave advice to, or they watch my videos. It's really, it's awesome to do this. And not only that, but I've done a lot of deals with people as well. So you can make money by just giving people more information. It's great. So if you guys are all wondering, like, why the heck are you doing this? I love teaching. I love helping people succeed. And it's fun for me. Hopefully you guys can feel my passion, my excitement. I love doing this. So before we get into the training, everybody, just do me a quick favor. Comment where you're watching this from. I got a guy right here, Leonel. He's saying he's from Utah. Let me know, guys, because the more we comment, the more you engage, the more you help me, the more passion, the more energy I'm coming out with this training, and it helps us get in front of more people. So please do engage. It means a lot to me when you guys do. So if you're watching this and you're all wondering, like, well, why should I spend time listening to Professor Payne? What does he really have anything good to tell me? Well, right here is what we're going to be going over today, guys. Why you're here. If you are scared to make that first call, Okay. If you're scared to make that first call, I get it. I was there too. I felt that pain. I came from a sales background and I still was scared. I had like 6-7 years of sales experience when I got into real estate, into this industry, and I was nervous to talk to people. Okay. So even if you have a ton of experience, you can still feel nervous. All right. So, but I was able to push through. I was able to close my first deal through cold calling. Okay. And I've done over $1 million+ in fees. And today I'm going to teach you guys how to do the same thing. All right. It all starts with this first step of knowing who we're helping, who's the person we're talking to, how to talk to them. Okay. And how to overcome that fear. What you're going to learn today is why fear is normal. Okay. It's not your fault. If you don't feel comfortable, it's okay. If you don't feel like calling people, you're not alone. I don't like calling people that don't know why I'm calling them. It's not something that like I get up every morning. I'm like, man, I'm excited to call some people that don't know I'm going to call them. No, but we're going to be going over how we can make this a better experience. We're going to go over how to practice and eliminate the fear. Okay. We're going to be going over the breakdown, the exact scripts that I use, and I'm giving them to you. So if you stay till the end, you're going to get my scripts. All right. And I'm going to show you how to grab the script. Not only am I going to give it to you, I'm going to show you how, because it's not, maybe you need a little bit of help navigating the internet, right? And these tools. Okay. So if you guys are interested in the script at all, I'm going to be giving it to you at the end, but just comment script. And throughout this video, my VA is going to be going, Jackie's going to be seeing the people that comment script. And after we're done, and at the end, we're going to send you guys all the resources. So just comment script and we'll be hooking you guys up. All right, here we go. So let's dive into my story, guys, because before we get in, I want to show you guys how I felt calling in the beginning and how I was scared. Okay. So my story, everybody, is before I went on a mission after high school for my church for 2 years. I knocked on people's doors and I talked to people about Jesus for 2 years. Okay. Is that something that might be a little bit scary? Yeah, it was a little uncomfortable, but I overcame it. Okay. Then after that, I went into door-to-door sales. Okay. Is door-to-door sales a little bit scary? Knocking on people's doors? Maybe it could be a little bit scary. I remember, guys, I knocked on this guy's door. I was selling in Oklahoma. I knock on this guy's door, trying to sell him Dish Network, satellite TV. And he opens the door with a gun and he's like, what are you doing? Because it was kind of late at night. So the guy had a gun pointed at me and I was like, hey, man, I'm just trying to sell you some Dish. No problem. I wasn't that nervous at that point. Okay. Because I knocked a ton of doors. I didn't believe I was going to die right then. Thankfully, I didn't get blasted. But I'm just telling you, like, those are things where you would probably feel a little bit nervous. Okay. But practice and doing it so many times allowed me to not feel super nervous. Then after that, after all the rejection, I got my mission and getting a gun pulled on me, knocking doors and getting tons of rejection, I got into real estate investing. Okay. If you guys want to know a little bit more about my story on my YouTube channel, I talk about my first deal, which we're talking about right now. I'm not going into like the story of the seller and everything. I'm just going into my experience with calling and getting that lead. That's what we're going to be going over today. But reason I'm telling you this story is because when it came to calling sellers on an auto dialer or just calling, I was nervous. Me, the guy that got a gun pulled on him and went on a mission, talked to people for 2 years, knocked doors. I was nervous to call people. Okay. It's not just something that like, you're weird if you feel that way. Like you would say, hey, someone like that I've had my experience wouldn't feel like that. Right. But no, I felt nervous. I didn't know what to say. I would get frustrated. I'd get mad and frustrated at myself and others. Like when I was cold calling lists, I'd be mad if people were like, no, I don't want to listen to you, or like they'd hang up. I would take it personally. I'd be like, man, I thought I was a good salesman. I thought I was good at talking to people. And these people are just rejecting me. What's going on? Right? I took rejection personal and froze up. And when sellers said no, right? Or even if they said yes, I wasn't 100% sure of what to talk about. Who's felt like that? Let me know if you guys have taken in the beginning or ever have taken it kind of personal when people don't want to listen to you when you're calling them, or when you're making an offer, or you're just trying to talk to them, or you feel like if they hang up, maybe you're not that good. Have you guys felt like that? Let me know. Give me a 1 or in the chat if you felt like that, and give me a 2 if you're like, nah, I've never felt personally rejected. Nah, that's just you, Nathan. I don't feel like that. Okay. I would like to know. But guess what, guys? I made it through, and I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I made it through. All right. In this presentation. And I was able to close my first deal. It was a $5,000 deal. Okay. That I got from cold calling. Okay. The expired listings list. Expired listings. That means that they were on the MLS and that it expired and didn't sell. So what does that mean, guys? Means that cold calling works, and I've done multiple deals. Thank you. Okay, you felt like that too, Leonel. Same here. I felt personally rejected, but I was able to push through. And again, I'm not going to go too deep into the story and how it worked, but you guys can watch that later in my YouTube channel. But the key takeaways, guys, are fear comes from feeling unprepared. Why did I feel scared? I didn't feel prepared to call people. And that's why so many people get stuck in analysis paralysis. They're just like, well, let me learn a little bit more. Maybe I'll feel a little bit better. Now, unfortunately, doing anything that you're new to, whether you practice a lot, like you have to do the activity you learn by doing. But still, like if you just jump in and start calling and you haven't prepared at all, you're going to be nervous. You're going to be scared. Okay. So that was my first issue is I didn't really practice when I first started. I just like, oh, I got tons of experience. Let me just go for this. And I didn't know what to say. So the fear came from feeling unprepared. How many of you feel unprepared when talking to sellers, right? We're going to be going over how to overcome that. I didn't use scripts in the beginning. Okay. I was just like, oh, I'll figure it out. I'm a smart guy. I can just I can riff. I can just talk to sellers. Not if you don't know what to talk about. I didn't use scripts for a long time, guys. But the key takeaway is when I started using scripts and I practiced with my business partner at the time, when I first started, when I practiced, I felt more comfortable. I wasn't scared anymore. Okay. So if you guys are feeling scared, you've got to look yourself in the mirror and say, how many times have I practiced this out loud? Do I even have a script? Do I know how to take the flow of this conversation, right? How many calls have I made? All right. Now, guys, again, if you guys want the script, I'm going to be giving it to you guys later at the end of this video, but just comment script and we'll be going through this video once it's done and we'll be sending everybody that commented, the script. So, that was my first story. I was nervous, guys. All right. Do I get nervous anymore? Absolutely not. Not at all. Because we're going to talk about why, but there's nothing to be scared of, and I'm going to be showing you guys why. Okay. So I would like to address the real reason why we're scared. Okay. And these are things that I felt. What if I freeze up? What if I say, what if I don't know what to say? Right? What if I sound dumb? What if they hang up on me? All right. Now, I'm actually going to take it a little bit deeper. Those are common fears, but these are deeper issues that a lot of us face that a lot of us don't really know why we're scared. But the deeper issues are maybe you don't feel like you're worthy of the success that will come as you continue to go. A lot of people just feel like they don't deserve it. Okay. So that's something that's difficult, and that can come back to like childhood trauma and things like where you just don't feel like you deserve to win. You don't deserve that life that you see all the other people having with the flashy stuff. Now that flashy stuff is not important to me. I don't care about that, but maybe you feel like, oh, you don't deserve it. Maybe you don't feel like wholesaling is right. Maybe you don't believe deep down that you think you're doing a good thing. Maybe you feel like you're taking advantage of people. So you don't really internally want to do it. Guys, that's a big issue I had when I first got started. I didn't feel like wholesaling was like a good thing. People would be like, oh man, you're just taking advantage of sellers. You're just stealing people's properties. I didn't really know what wholesaling was at that time, like too in depth and how much we can help people. So I kind of felt like I wasn't doing something that was something commendable or like a good thing, like something to be proud of. But you need to know how we serve people, and the clients that we're looking to work with, our avatar, the people we help, in order to really want to do this. Because if you don't really feel like you're benefiting society, you might not want to make a call. Like deep down, that it might not align with, again, your core values, what you believe in your heart. Okay. And thinking that you don't have the ability to do it no matter what. Even if you practice a ton, it's not going to work out for you. It works out for everybody else, but that's because they're smart. They blah, 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 blah. They have this and that. But for you, it doesn't work. We have to conquer these deeper issues. And the deeper issues are usually, I would say, the things that like people will use these are surfacey issues, surfacey fears, but I think deep down, those are the issues we face. Like, we don't think we're good enough. We don't think we deserve it. Guys, let me know in the comments if you agree. Have you felt like maybe deep down you don't think wholesaling aligns with what you really believe, and you don't really think it's helping or serving anybody? Or maybe you feel like you don't deserve to win. I don't know. Let me know. I want to connect with you guys. All right. I'm doing this because I like to help you out and overcome what's going on. All right. But I would say this one is some of the main issues people face, like the deeper issues, but the common fears are real too. Like, you just don't want to be dumb and waste your time and look like an idiot. I get that as well. All right. So the counterpoints that you guys need to remember as we go through this is, what if you crush the call and get a deal? Like, what if it goes well, right? If you look at the bad side, look at the good. What if the seller is nice? You're probably like, oh man, what if they're mean to me? What if they're nice, right? What if this one call can change your life? All right. You have to remember that. And you also got to think of what's the worst that can happen. Like, when I'm knocking doors, I had that gun pulled on me. That's not going to happen to you when you're calling. No one's going to be able to do anything to you through the phone. Like, that can hurt you. So you'd be like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? I can't get hurt. And even if you can't get hurt, which you can't because you're on a phone, right? Maybe you get tennis elbow or something from lifting the phone, that hurts. But that's not a big deal. So you got to realize that, guys. You got to look at those things. All right. So how to push through these fears. Okay. You have, if it's the deeper issues, you have to be self-aware and understand, like, okay, maybe I feel like that. I need to adjust those things in my life. But we're going to be going over these quick fixes. These are 3 quick fixes to eliminate the fears. Accept fear's growth. Guys, you need it in order to go through become a diamond. I think coal, like, if with enough pressure, it becomes like a diamond. All right. Or if you want to become something great, you have to go through affliction. You have to go through fire to be refined. Okay. The fire of, the furnace of fire of I can't think of the right term, like the right wordings, but basically, if you want to be purified, you have to go through some trials. Okay. So accept fear as growth. You want to grow. All right. Everyone's scared at first. Do it anyway. Okay. That's what I would say. It's going to be nerve-wracking, but with preparation, as you do it anyway, you're going to get better. Reframe fear as excitement. All right. If you're excited, you're not scared. Let's go. It's not fear. You're just, you're excited to take action. All right. Reframe it and focus on practice, not perfection. Perfection comes through making tons of mistakes. All right. And I'm going to share with you guys a couple quotes that I really like that push me in my mindset game. Guys, make 10 calls, watch yourself improve. Okay. That's a good first step. All right. Practice. Don't focus on perfection. I'm not perfect. If you guys listen to me cold call, I make mistakes all the time too. And I've been doing this for years. It's okay. It's fine to admit that. Right. So I want to share with you guys a couple quotes that I really like that help push me when things get hard. Okay. Or when I don't really want to do something. I really enjoy this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It says, "That which we persist in doing becomes easier. Not that the nature of the task has changed, but our ability to do has increased." And that's a lot to do with like muscles. You can think about muscle. This is someone's bicep with a weight. Okay. It's not that the nature of the weight has become lighter. It's just the ability to do it has increased. It's the same thing when you lift that phone to cold call. It's not that it's become the nature is easier. It's just that your ability to do it has increased. All right. I love that. So that's what's going to happen as you get better at this job. You're going to be able to increase your ability to do it. All right. How do we learn? We learn to do by doing. All right. So if you're like, well, I suck at this. Well, yeah, so has everybody that's ever started. All right. Because you got to start somewhere. Remember that mistakes are not and perfection do not contradict one another. If you want to be perfect, you have to make mistakes to get there. And nobody's perfect except Jesus Christ. Right. And we that's our goal, is to become perfect, right? Is to be better. And we have to make mistakes to get there. Perfection is a step-by-step process in which mistakes are necessary. Once you realize that making mistakes is necessary for growth, you guys are going to do better. Okay. You got to make mistakes. Embrace it. All right. I had to make a lot of mistakes to get to the point where I'm at. And you won't meet anyone that's a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, trillionaire, whatever, that hasn't made tons of mistakes and lost tons of money. Okay, because you got to make mistakes to get there. I wish you couldn't. That's why you want to align yourself with a mentor or someone that's done it so you can fast track your way to success and not make tons of mistakes. But still, you got to learn, right? Good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. That's a quote I like. All right. That is why we are here on earth. Religiously, like, not to get super religious on you guys, but I think we're here on this earth to learn. Okay. We're here on this earth to become better and progress. Okay. From like a baby to like, as we grow, we're always progressing every day. You got to be striving for progression and progress. So that's why being an entrepreneur, being in real estate, being whatever you guys want to do in your entrepreneurial journey, I think is important, because you, as an entrepreneur, you're always trying to improve. Okay. That's why I think it's so good to be an entrepreneur. Life is a risk, and learning requires risk. Okay. It does. You're going to risk, you got to risk it for the biscuit. Okay. This isn't the last quote I want to share with you guys that I like, that talks about overcoming fear. Listen to this. This is good. Chronic fear of failure guarantees failure. So if you're always scared of failing, it's guaranteeing failure if you have that chronic fear, which makes the consequence of fearing mistakes greater than the consequence of the error itself. Okay. So in simple terms, if you're really always scared and you won't do anything because you're scared of failure, that's worse. That fear of failure is worse than the mistakes that you're worried about doing or happening. That's worse than because the consequences of the errors that you're fearing they might happen. They might happen. But sorry, I'm just jumbling my words. All I'm trying to say, I try to make it simple, but the quote freaking does it better than I can. Okay. I just blew it. All I'm saying is, don't fear failure. You can do this. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. So these are, when I talk to people about making calls to sellers, a lot of people do auto dialers. I actually my first deal came from an auto dialer. Now, do I think auto dialers are the best for connectivity and for specific strategies? No, I think there's other ways that you can reach out to people, maybe like hand dial a specific list, because the connectivity rate might be better with your phone. And people, when you text people, they can see the blue text if you have the iPhone. But the auto dialers are good for this reason and this reason. I would say you can reach a lot of people, but I would say the main reason is it makes calling easier. Okay. So depending on your strategy and who you're trying to reach, I say hand dialing is good. But it does make it, if you're nervous and scared of calling, the auto dialer is good because you basically put the list of people in there and then it does it for you. So you don't have to make a call. They don't answer, dial in, make a call, because that can be pretty stressful sometimes if you're just starting out and you just need that extra push. So if you're like, man, I'm really struggling to make those calls, auto dialers will help, because again, they just make it easy and do it for you. It's easy mode, baby. So I recommend Batch Dialer and Mojo Dialer. Those are good. I like Batch. I like Mojo. I've tried all the dialers. It's really, honestly, for me, it doesn't really matter. I haven't found one that's like, oh man, this is the greatest dialer in the world. It's just like, hey, just get your list and go to town, go start taking action. Okay. So why do I recommend auto dialer? Mainly depends on the list you're going for, but mainly because it makes it easier. So you don't have to do it every single time. Pick up that phone, dial. It's auto dial, right? Okay. So let's go to the next slide. This is another thing, guys. If you are cold calling and you don't really understand this one thing before cold calling, you're going to get really discouraged and you're probably going to want to give up. Okay. But I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you what you need to know before you start cold calling. This is not something I really knew. Okay. This is not something that I really understood until later on. But you guys, if you're watching this training, I'm giving you the secret right now. Okay. Here is the secret. right? And the next slide is going to dive in deeper. But when calling sellers, we are looking to solve problems. Problems are what we want to solve, okay? Nobody is going to sell their house to you unless there's something that they need done, like a problem they need to get taken care of. So that's what we're doing here. You cannot make anyone want to sell their house at a discount. You can't. And that's what I would get frustrated about when I was cold calling. I was like, man, I was telling all these people like, hey, I can buy your house for cash. It's really easy and convenient. And they're like, no, get lost. And I'd be like, why not? Why don't they want to sell to me? And then I'm like, well, but now I'm like, dude, looking back, I'm like, dude, you can't make people want to sell, period. Like if you call me right now and you're like, hey, I'll buy your house for whatever, I'd be like, dude, I'm not trying to move at all. I'm good. Don't call. Like I would have the same reaction. So you cannot make someone want to sell if they don't want to sell, or if they don't have a problem. You can't make them want to sell to an investor. They're just going to list it because they're not motivated. Okay. So when I realized this, it made the job a lot easier. When I realized I was looking for someone specific to work with, a specific client. All right. Someone that was motivated. So I have a question for everybody that's watching. What problem do we solve as investors and wholesalers? If we are looking to solve problems, if we are looking for specific people to work with, who are those? What is that problem that we can solve? Because if you don't know what problem we can solve, you're going to have a hard time calling people, because you're going to be getting frustrated that you're not seeing the success. You're going to be frustrated that you're not having the calls that you think, like the results that you think you should be doing. But really, if you don't understand this one thing of the problem we solve, then you're going to have, again, a hard time. What do you guys think? What's the problem we solve? Just throw in some stuff that wholesalers can solve, right? Why do people sell to someone that can buy for cash? Why is that a big deal for people? Again, I didn't know this when I first started, so I was like, why does anyone want to sell to me? I was just hoping everyone wanted to sell to me, right? But obviously the offer of a cash offer is pretty low, so we obviously can't buy everybody's house because they don't know, not everybody's interested in selling. They obviously go on the MLS if they want to sell. Anybody in the comment section, just throw in what you guys, what you think the problem we solve is. All right. Because I love to hear from my people. All right. So this is the problem we solve. Why do sellers work with wholesalers? What problem do we solve? Let's dive right in, guys. So the problem we solve is many sellers face urgent, stressful situations and need quick solutions. That's the problems we solve. Is people are in urgent situations, they're stressful, and these are some of the situations. And it doesn't even have to be any of these. I just gave you guys some options. Pre-foreclosure, okay? Auctions coming up. They're late on their payments and they're going to lose their house to the bank. Financial distress. They can't afford the repairs. They're hole in the roof and it's, snow or rain or stuff is falling through. They want to get out. They don't want to be in the property. They inherited the property. They don't want to hassle with managing the house. They inherited from their mom or dad that passed away, and the house is miles away in a different state, and they don't have to deal with it. They just want to sell it. They don't want to have to worry about listing it or taking care of anything. They just want to quit close and get paid out. It's vacant or damaged. Relocation needs. They need to sell ASAP. Guys, these are indicators of problems like that we can solve. Or if you're talking to someone, they're like, hey, I'm going through any of these situations, right? Then you're like, ding, ding, ding. These are people that we work with. So if I'm cold calling someone, someone's like, yeah, my house is paid off. I don't really need to move. I was probably thinking about downsizing, but I don't know. I don't really need to sell. Does that sound like something like a very motivated person that has these things that are going on? Now, a lot of people are like, well, you're taking advantage of those people. Why? That's not right. It's like, well, no, that's not what we do. A lot of these people in pre-foreclosure cannot sell fast enough if they just list it on the MLS, right? If they just listed it, they'll lose their home. The process is too quick for them to be able to sell it in time. So we help these people in financial distress that can't afford their repairs. A lot of times they can't sell it on the MLS. We help these people, okay? So we're helping, right? We're serving. We're meeting people's needs, okay? Inherited property, same thing. Don't want it. They want to sell the house quickly. We help them. Vacant or damaged, we help them. So when you start understanding who we're looking to work with, who we help, we're searching for problems to solve. All right. When you're calling, that's what you're trying to do. Relocation, we're helping people. Okay. Some people don't want to list it. Money is not always a motivating factor for people. Some people have so much money. They're like, I don't care. I just want, the stress is bothering me. I can't tell you the amount of deals that I've done where money, it didn't make sense for them to sell like fast, easy, and convenient the way what we do and solve, because the money was lower, but they didn't care. They didn't care about the money. They were fine. They just wanted the problem out of their life. And the problem was the property. Okay. So the solution we provide is we solve problems fast without the hassle of traditional selling. That's what we do. Quick cash offers, no waiting months on the market. Guys, I've had my house listed in Utah, one of my rentals. It's been on the market for like 6 months now. I'm not getting offers I want. I'm not motivated enough to just take a cash offer, but if I was, a cash offer would be something I need. Okay. So quick cash offer, no repairs needed. I don't want to spend money on the house. Someone will buy it and take care of it. Flexible closing dates on the seller's schedule. Post-possession. You buy it, you let them stay in after. That doesn't really happen traditionally. Traditionally, someone's going to buy it like a family and they're going to want to move in immediately. Okay. So we can be flexible. We can help them move. We can pay. So we just make the sale easier, convenient, fast, easy. No fees. We don't charge anything. We buy it as is. Keep them more money in your pocket. Not necessarily the offer is higher, but there's no fees. People like that. Peace of mind. We handle all the paperwork and the details. They don't have to stress about getting a real estate agent or do anything like that. So why work with us? Why work with us is because speed, convenience, and ease. You can narrow down to those things. Deals are closed in days, not months. No agent fees, no commissions, no repairs, and cash, no financing delays. Okay. So understand that, wholesalers, investors, that's who we serve. We serve the people who have problems. We provide solutions and make this fast, easy, and convenient. Why does anyone sell their car to a car lot, right? Or going to a dealership? Doesn't make sense. They're going to pay less if you just sold it yourself, but it's fast, easy, and convenient. People don't want to have to hassle with it. They have other things that they want to take care of. Okay. So guys, if you're vibing this, if you're getting this, if you're understanding why this is so important before we start calling, give me a 1 in the chat. If you're wherever you're watching this or like the video, because this can get in front of more people, which means a lot to me if you guys are able to do that. I just want to get some feedback from you guys, because again, you need to know this. I didn't get trained on this, and I was just calling, and I was getting really stressed and annoyed and upset when I was calling. I said, this doesn't work. Well, guys, I was not getting a hold of people that had these issues or even looking to solve those problems. I was just like, hey, do you want to sell your house? Okay, what do you want for your house? I can pay you this. I wasn't diving into what we're going to be diving into the script that I'm going to be giving you. We need to identify how we can serve them, the problem we solve. All right. So if you guys are vibing this, if you're liking this, we're going to be doing a lot right now. I'm going to be doing a live demo script breakdown. We're going to go step by step through my exact script. So you're going to be able to get, and where you're going to be able to get this script. It's inside my 90-day action plan. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to get it right now. And I'm going to walk you through this script. We're going to break it down. Comment script again, if you guys are interested in getting this, so we can make sure you can get it. All right. So let's do a live breakdown of this script. If you guys have not joined my free Facebook group yet, all you have to do is go to guides. Okay, that's once you join, as you can see right here, someone's requested to join, got to let them in. But you go to guides, and it's just under training, 90-day action plan. And then if you click on this, you're going to get a link. You fill it out. We send you the script. Okay. Or we send you the 90-day action plan. What is the 90-day action plan? It just tells you exactly what to do in the next 90 days to get a deal. All right. It breaks down everything from 30 days, your first 30 days, second 30 days, last 30 days. Gives you scripts. It gives you planners, gives you everything. I hook you guys up because I love you guys and I want you guys to succeed. But all you do is you go to the very bottom to key wholesaling scripts. Okay. There's a lot of different scripts, a lot of different ways you can go about this business. But if you click here, it takes you to this different folders. JVing with wholesalers, talking to agents, buyers, objection handling, qualifying opportunities. So under this qualifying opportunities, there's different scripts of talking to pre-foreclosures, driving for dollars, high equity, probate. There's different conversations that you have depending on who you're talking to. We're going to be going over just the generic script. Okay. So if you're just calling a generic list, all right. But I would say, depending on the list you call, what you say does change, right? Because if you're calling someone that's in pre-foreclosure, you're going to say something different. But this is just the generic script. This is Professor Payne's cold calling script. So we're going to be going over this right now, everybody. So I'm going to be breaking down, not like pretty in depth right now, like why we go through and say the things we do. And hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Now, there's no perfect script out there. That's why I've included, leads manager scripts, cold calling scripts, different scripts from different companies. You guys can study, the flow you like, but this is one of the flows that I like, the way I like to talk to people. So right here, let's dive in. Okay. Give me a 1, guys, in the chat if you guys are, you're following along and this is making sense. Hopefully what I'm going through is helpful. I don't, sorry if I'm going a little too fast, but I'm making this so everybody that's watching can, follow along or watch the recording once we're done. But yeah, let's dive right in. So conversation, make sure when you're reading this, the flow and the focus of how you want to talk is you want to have a conversational, easy to follow. And you want to, let's see. And okay, so you want to have like a good conversation. You want this to be easy to follow and removes the pressure while setting clear expectations. You want this to be easy for the seller. This is basically just saying, hey, just remember to have these things in mind. Remember to smile like that, right? Remember to smile because people can feel your energy through the phone. I don't know if you've ever gotten a call from someone haven't really even said a word. Maybe they've said one word and you can vibe that they're not having a good day. Right? Maybe if they said something, but if they say, hey, how you doing? They're smiling. You're like, oh man, this guy's bringing some energy. So even if it's hard and you don't want to bring energy, it is important. Okay. So you can follow this word for word if you want, but this is more of like a decent outline. So let's go through it. Hey, John. Hey, John, how's it going? My name's Nathan. And usually you can sometimes I don't even say, hey, this is Nathan. Sometimes I say, hey, John, how's it going? And I act like I already know him, right? But you can also say, hey, John, this is Nathan. How's it going? I know this is a bit out of the blue. That's used a lot, right? But I know this is a bit out of the blue, but I'm reaching out because I've been looking at properties in your area, and I wanted to see if you've ever thought about selling your property or might consider it. Something as simple as that, guys. I'm just calling to see if you've been open to selling, if you're considered selling your property before. Pause and let them respond. Now, guys, this goes back to what we've talked about. When I first started wholesaling, when I started cold calling, if people didn't respond yes or no to that answer, I felt like I had to convince them. I had to, oh, well, you haven't thought about selling? Well, what if I could do this and this and this? Or guys, if they're not even open to selling in the first place, what are you going to do? You're going to force them to sell? So don't take this personal. If you start out a conversation and they're like, no, I don't want to sell. There's not much you can do at that point to be like, well, what if I could do this and this and this? It's like, they're either interested in selling or not, in my opinion. Okay. The next thing is setting the expectations and building the trust. Have you ever gotten a call from someone that, like a friend, that just goes right into it without telling you the purpose of why they're calling? It's kind of feel awkward, and you're like, oh man, I don't know when this call is going to end, and that's a friend. Imagine if someone cold calls you and just goes right into their script. You immediately just want them to stop. So what I like to do is I like to see if they're available to chat, right? I like to set the expectations of the call. So right here is awesome. And just so you know up front, I'm not here to pitch you anything. This isn't a sales pitch. I'm just looking to see if we might be a good fit to work with each other, okay? Or to help each other out. If it makes sense to keep chatting by the end of this call, we can do that. If not, no worries. Does that sound fair to you? Right? Yeah, it sounds fair. And by the way, this isn't going to take very long. And by the way, this isn't all in the script, but this is how I just elaborate a little bit. I would say, yeah, by the way, this would take like 5 or 10 minutes. Do you have 5 or 10 minutes to chat? Yeah, I do. Okay, great. So out of curiosity, what's got you interested in selling? What's got you thinking about selling? Let them talk, right? If they're like, I don't know why I'm interested in selling. For me, that's kind of a red flag, right? Because if they don't really know why they want to sell, how are we going to solve a problem, right? We could just go right into, our offer, but that, again, they're going to be like, well, thanks for your crappy offer. No, we have a problem to solve. And if you guys were on Analyzing Deals training, the other video that I did on how to analyze deals and make offers, you have to find out how you can help them solve their problems, or it's going to be hard to make a deal happen. So again, if they don't know their problem or why, it's going to be tough. But if you want to keep going with that, right here it says, no problem. Sometimes people are just exploring options. Have you already looked into what selling might look like or spoken to anyone about it? I want to explore other options. Like, hey, what options have you explored? If you've been thinking about selling, what does that look like for you so far? Try to find out what's going on. Well, and if they're like, I would press really hard on, if you're like, hey, what's got you interested in selling? And they're like, I don't know. Be like, oh, come on. I know. You really press on that. Really? You don't know? Come on. If you're interested in selling, you might want to, you must want to go somewhere. Well, if they're like, why are you asking me all these questions? You could say, well, I have a lot of ways I can buy houses, and I have other options that I can help people get to what they want. Maybe you want to go move somewhere. Maybe I can help you find a property that you might want to buy. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand the situation so we can work together better, right? Really try to understand why they want to sell. Learn. Okay. Then for me, the whole thing is why they want to sell. What are they trying to accomplish? That's what I'm really trying to understand deep. Okay. Then you can learn about the property. Now, for me, the property condition is important, but it's more why. What's the problem? I'm trying to nail this, beat this in your guys' head. How can we serve them? How can we help them? That is what we need to do when we're calling. If they don't know themselves, it's going to be really hard to get anything done. If you can't get that out of them, I'm going to say kind of like good luck, right? You gotta have to get that out of them. Now, if they don't want to give you any information, there's steel trap. Go into learning about the condition of the property, because a lot of the times learning about the condition of the property will tell you maybe that's their motivation. Their house is falling apart. So learn about the property condition. Can you tell me a little bit about the property? A lot of people have all these questions they want to ask about the house. Can you tell me about the roof? Can you tell me about the kitchen? Can you tell me about blah, 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 blah? I don't really go too deep on that. I just ask a couple questions. All right. I'll find out more about the property later, but again, it's all about what they're trying to accomplish. Okay. Here's some questions on that. Uncover their biggest obstacles, finding pain points. It's all about finding pain. Nathan Payne, Professor Payne, right? So sounds like a great spot. Can I ask you, what's been holding you back from selling so far? Is it the repairs, timing, or maybe not knowing what your options are? Good question. It's all about asking questions when you're calling people, right? And that's why, like, maybe you feared, or it's been hard to call people because you don't know what to ask. Well, hopefully I'm giving you guys a structure. Well, I am giving you a structure. Hopefully it's making sense that your goal is to find out why and how you can help them accomplish their goals. That's why we're calling, right? How do we solve that problem? Discuss their price expectations. Have you thought about what you need to get out of the property if you decide to sell, or what's your asking price? What would you like to get for the property? Are you looking to get top dollar, or is speed and convenience more important to you? Okay. If they give you a number, okay, that's helpful. Thanks for sharing. Based on what you're looking for, I'd love to dig into a little bit deeper and see if we could make something work. Now, understand this, guys. Most of the time when they give their price, they're asking for way more than they'll usually accept. Okay. That's just how it is. Nobody's going to really anchor themselves like super, super low. That's our job, is to have that conversation and get them, depending on the condition or the problem that they're having, to reality, right? Like if they want $1 million and their house is worth $1 million, exactly, then they're probably, if they want retail, they're going to have to list it, right? Like if they want to sell it fast, easy, and convenient, we're not going to be able to give them $1 million, especially if, the house needs a lot of work, or if they need to sell in 7 days, because we need to make money. We're investors. We're not able to do something and solve that problem without give and take, right? So I always check the options they've explored. I usually do it a little bit earlier in the call, just naturally, but here it is. Have you already listed the property? Talk to an agent, or are you mostly seeing what's out there? Okay. this would have probably already arisen in the conversation, but I say, hey, have you considered listing with a real estate agent to sell it? Have you considered flipping it yourself? Have you considered keeping it as a rental? Have you considered, I just always ask like all the different options that are available to them to try and disqualify them and see if they're looking like what options they've already done. Cause I don't want to go over, hey, have you thought about flipping it and go into too much information on that when they're like, hey, that's not something I ever want to do. Cause I've looked into it. You just got to basically ask them, hey, what have you done so far to try and sell this thing? So they give you more information and it gets them talking a lot too. Wrap up next steps. Let's see if I don't want to read, to be honest, anymore. You guys can get the script. You guys get the idea. So when it comes to closing on this script, it really depends on where they're at in the sales process. A lot of the time, they're just in the exploring phase and they're like, well, you know what? I'm still looking at my options. We'll help them understand what options are available. Well, have you thought about listing it? Yeah, I have. My Aunt Sue is an agent. I said, well, you should call her if you want to list it, if you're open to it. You mind if I follow up with you tomorrow after and see how your conversation went with Aunt Sue, so I can, see if I can work with you, or if you're going to decide to go list with her. I always push them away from my option just so I make sure that they feel confident that I'm not trying to force them to do anything. And if they work with Aunt Sue, great, right? But if they work with me, even better. So remember, guys, that it doesn't have to be a one-call close. I know a lot of people, you probably see that online, or like a lot of the videos on YouTube are like, watch me close this property. It's like in 5 seconds. It's like, that's not really reality. No one wakes up in one day, like one morning being like, oh, I want to sell my house. Then they get a call and they're like, okay, I'll sign. It usually takes some time, right? It usually takes a couple months, right? For that process to happen. And depending on where you catch this person, depends how fast you can get the deal done. So if this person has been thinking about selling for a while and you catch them at the end of the process where they're like, yes, they're ready to accept an offer, maybe you just came at that right timing. But you can catch a lot of people at the very beginning phase where you help them through that process and you build that trust and you get them to the finish line. So don't feel pressure that you need to get this done on one call. It can just be like, oh, hey, you know what? I talked to you about the condition of the house. You did tell me why you're selling. I said we would talk for 5-10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. Can we continue, or are you, do you have to go and do something? Oh, I actually have to go pick up my kids. Okay, great. Do you mind if we pick this call back up tomorrow or after you pick your kids up? I just have a couple more questions about, blah, 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 blah. And then you can pick it up later. You don't have to, and don't feel like you have to make an offer on that first call. Guys, I hold back my offer pretty much until they're ready to sign, until they're ready to give a yes. I'll give them a range, but I don't give a definite final offer number in a contract until I already know they're going to say yes or no. Like, there's no reason for me to send them a contract and just hope they're going to accept it. I send it over the phone when they're ready to agree. Okay. Or else, like, what's the point, right? Because they're going to go with someone else that's probably going to beat my offer if I don't make sure that they're ready to go. All right. And this goes deeper into sales, but what I'm trying to tell everybody here on the cold calling script is don't feel like it needs to be a one call close. It usually isn't when you're calling people, and you have to build a rapport and it takes time. Okay. Just understand that. And if it doesn't take time and you got lucky, well, good. They've been thinking about it for a long time and you just got there at the right time. Okay. So that's the cold calling script that you guys are going to be able to get by going to the group, joining the group, and then going to guides, getting the action plan, or going to the very last page, going to the key wholesaling scripts, and then it's under the qualifying opportunities, Professor Payne's link. Now, look, if you guys don't want to have to do all that work, just comment scripts and I'll just send you the link to the scripts. I won't make you go through the whole 90-day action plan, all that hubbubaloo, all that mumbo jumbo. All you got to do is just comment scripts. Okay. All right, everybody. So let's go back. We're almost done. I know I've been going for a while, but on these trainings, guys, I really like to go in depth so you don't have any questions on how to do this. And we go through the whole thing. Okay. So now that you guys have the script, how can you feel more comfortable How can you feel better about going through it? Practice, guys, makes perfect. That's it. Role playing, role playing, role playing. You don't know how much role playing I did on my mission, how much role playing I did when I was doing door-to-door sales. We would have a correlation meeting every day before we went to knock doors, and we'd role play. We'd practice scenarios. Why? Because it helps you as you go through the script. It makes you feel way more comfortable. Okay. I got to take a drink. I'm thirsty. Ooh, I've been talking for a while. So confidence is built before the call. Now, that doesn't mean you don't make any calls until you feel like extremely confident. Confidence also comes from practicing and doing, also doing. You learn by doing. Remember that quote? So 3 steps to practice. Grab a partner or a mirror. Now, for me, a partner is way better than a mirror. But if you don't have any friends, okay, no friends, which I know you all have friends because you're all cool. I'm your friend. But anyway, grab a partner and practice. Your mom, dad, sister, friend, okay? Anyone that you met at a RIA, anyone that you're meeting in the Facebook group, okay? Read the script out loud. Out loud, guys. I'm telling you, if you read the script out loud, you're going to memorize it. It's going to be a part of you. You're going to internalize it way more if you read out loud. Another thing is if you actually write it down on a piece of paper. I know you have it here. I'm giving it to you. But if you write it down, it's going to be that much easier to remember. Why? Because when we put pencil to paper, pad to paper, whatever the saying is, it makes it easier. Okay. Repeat until it feels natural. All right. As you guys could see, as I was flowing through that script, you're going to be able to flow as you practice. And sometimes you're just going to, it doesn't have to be like you're reading it word for word. I don't think you need to read it word for word, but in the beginning you might feel like you need to, but eventually it's just it becomes natural. Okay. Practice makes perfect. Just start. All right. No, it's hard, but you've got to start. All right. You are there to serve people. There's people out there that need you, that are losing their houses. There's people out there that don't know what to do, but you can help them. All right. So know that. All right, everybody. So Q&A time in the painless way. Q&A in the painless way. Any questions in the comments, wherever you're watching this, guys, go in and leave a question that you have, because I'm here to answer anything that you have. And while I'm waiting for any questions to come through, while I check all the streams, I'm going to go over FAQ, frequently asked questions. Does the script change depend on who you are calling? Yes, it does. All right. Now, I know you guys are newer to this, but the script does change. When you call someone that's in pre-foreclosure, okay? So if someone's in pre-foreclosure, what you're going to say is different than someone that's in probate. All right. Now, I didn't go over that in this training because this one is just about overcoming the fear in the basic cold calling script, but there are different ways to talk to people that are in different situations. If someone is a tired landlord, right, and they're absentee owner and they're out of state and it's vacant, your conversation with that person is going to be very different than it's someone that's in pre-foreclosure. When you're calling someone that's in pre-foreclosure, you can, instead of just saying, hey, do you want to sell your house? That's not very empathetic to their situation. That's not very understanding of the hard things they're going through because they're potentially going to lose their house. So you would say something more on the pre-foreclosure. Hey, my name's Nathan. I noticed that I specialize in working with people that are going through the pre-foreclosure process. And I noticed that your property is on that list. I'm really sorry, but I do work with people and help people either know their options to stay in the home, or if they want to, we work with people, we can buy their properties or help them sell it. Are you going through that situation? Right? Or is this Tom or whatever? Like that's not the exact script I would say, but that's like a variation of like pre-foreclosure versus like a generic call script that we went over, or a tired landlord who has a vacant property. Hey, I'm calling you because I noticed your house is vacant and that you don't live there. Wondering if you thought about selling it. I'm buying properties in the area. I thought I'd reach out. So just different ways to flow. Okay. So that's the frequently asked question I get a lot, guys, is does the script change depending on who you're calling? Absolutely. Okay. Guys, if you like this and you want my cold calling scripts, just type in script, comment script, we'll be sending it your way. And I'm going to look at some of the questions that have come through. But again, last thing I'm going to say, because I let people kind of think about the questions that as I go live, as I'm teaching. I want to talk about the painless way. A lot of people have probably heard about painless flipping. My name's Nathan Payne, Professor Payne. What's painless flipping? Painless flipping is being transparent about the process that we're going through. When a lot of the times wholesalers will just make one offer and they'll send the agreement and they'll just cross their finger and hope somebody will accept their one offer. The painless way is to understand that that's not, sellers don't always work like that, right? You're not always going to get deals by just lowballing people. So what I do is I say, hey, look, after understanding what problem they need solved, I say, hey, my offer is going to be in this range. Okay. Is that something you would consider accepting an offer in that range? Instead of sending the offer and hoping, I ask them, and if they're like, no, not at all. So well, how close can you get there? Oh, I can't really get anywhere closer than, I can't go lower than 200,000. And I'm at like 120, 130. I say, hey, look, you're pretty close to where I'd normally be. I don't think I can get it up to that point, but I have a couple cash buyers that I flip and I wholesale deals to that might be able to pay a little bit more than I can. Do you mind if I reach out to them and see what they would be able to pay? So that's just a little variation of what I do. It's not the whole process, but it's just being transparent and saying, hey, instead of being like that one offer guy who just lowballs and just hopes I can get a deal, I'm going to explore all the different options. And if you guys want to know more about this process, go to the training that I did on analyzing deals and making offers. There's a lot more that goes into it, but the painless way is pretty much just being transparent that you got to buy it at a really low price. If you do the cash offer, right, you got to buy it at a price that maybe they might not be open to, but if it doesn't work and they're close to that price, there's still other things you can do to work with them instead of just lowballing them and then following up with them like I used to do for a very long time. I just lowball people and I'd follow up, and they'd eventually end up selling to someone who paid a little bit more because they just didn't vibe with me, right? Or they didn't think like my process was good. I don't do that anymore. That was like years ago. Now my process, it's much more of like, hey, solving problems and getting them an offer that they like or they feel like is fair. Okay. So let me see if there's any questions that have come through on the feeds. Let's take a look. Let's see. There's a lot of different feeds this thing is hitting on. Hey guys, if I can't see your question for some reason because the streams aren't letting me see it, apologies, but I will get to these later. I don't see any questions. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a question that came through. No questions. Okay, so I must be doing a decent job. All right, answer your questions. Okay, almost done. Wrapping it up. Oop. Okay, so let's talk. You guys have made it to the end, and I appreciate you. So let's talk about the free script plus 90-day action plan. Want to feel 100% prepared and confident on every call? Download my free cold calling script that I just showed you and the role-playing guide inside the 90-day action plan. Let me show you how to get it in the Facebook group. Okay, I showed you a little bit earlier, but if you guys, again, want another reminder, here it is. You go to you type in painless flipping, wholesaling, real estate simplified. You go over here to guides. You click on here to training. You go through and you click on the 90-day action planner. Once you fill out the information, we will send you a link to the 90-day action plan. The 90-day action plan tells you everything you need to crush this business. Okay. It's going to help you I don't have to go too deep into it. Right here, it shows you the table of contents and everything you get. Right here under learn how to role play on page 17 and 18, it's going to show you the best ways to role play, the best ways to learn scripts easily. Okay. Which is very important. You need to be able to flow and memorize. And I would say even memorize the flow. So when you're having conversations, you know where this is going, and includes all my contracts, all my wholesaling scripts, all for you for free. Hope you guys enjoy. You click on the link. You're going to be able to see a bunch of different options, folders with scripts. Qualifying opportunities is where you're going to see this one we went over today. There's a lot of different ones you can check out, pick which ones you like, but Professor Payne's cold calling script for wholesalers, that's the one that we talked about. I think that's a great one for beginners. And then again, we did discuss that depending on where, who you're calling, your conversation is going to have to change a little bit. Practice makes perfect, everybody. All right. So don't be nervous or worried if it's not perfect. All right. It will get perfect and you'll get better over time. So you're not alone, everybody, in this. I know. And that's why I made this. So you guys know, hey, I came from a lot of sales experience and I was nervous to call. Okay. So you're not alone. Fear is normal, but preparation is power. If you want to feel powerful, get prepared, practice. Okay, guys, final steps. You can rewatch this training and grab the free resources inside my group. Also on my YouTube channel, you can watch these trainings and previous trainings where I dive in deep. I'm going to do a replay of this tonight so you can let your friends know, hey, this was good. You should, if you want to watch it again, I'm going to be streaming it again live. Join the free Facebook group now. The link is, I'm going to put the link in the comments right here for the Facebook group so you guys can get to it. If you don't know how to search it, I'm just going to put it in there for everybody. That's the link to the Facebook group. And one gift I could ask from you, if you guys have found any value in this, if you found this to be helpful, it would help me out a ton. If you could comment on this video, wherever you're watching it, if you could like this, if you could even share it, that would be super nice, because it's like, dang, these guys liked it enough that they're willing to share it on their social media. That would be sweet. If you could subscribe or do any of this stuff, that would mean the world to me. All right, guys, I'd give you a big old heart, right? That's why I put this guy, because I believe some people, if they found value like that, they're going to, this might be you, right? Give me a heart, give me a like. I appreciate it, because my goal, guys, in 2025, just so you guys know, 2025 is to be known as one of the top educators in this space. Be known as one of the top educators in this space. Why? Because I love teaching and I want to make wholesaling simple. That's my goal. I want to make wholesaling simple for everybody. It's not that complicated. You got to solve problems. You got to find people who have problems. You got to help them. You got to show love and do your best to serve people. Okay. So that has been my training for today, guys. I hope this has been helpful. I do this and I prepare all this because, again, I've been there and I care, and I know there's a lot of people that we can serve. I know that if you felt scared, you're not alone. Been there, done that. I'm not perfect. Sometimes you can still be a little nervous as you go through things, right? Little butterflies can be going, but get excited about it. Get excited to learn and get better every day. All right. So do those things for me, and I appreciate it. And I will send you guys the scripts and the trainings just wherever you are. Comment script or just go where I showed you. Either way, if you don't want to wait for me to get back to you with the link, just go to the Facebook group and grab it in the 90-day action planner. Hope this is helpful, guys. Have a great weekend. This is Friday, so enjoy yourselves. Let's go spend time with family. Hope this was helpful. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.